Welcome to the Talking Heart, always connected though miles apart. Like the lotus flower grows from the mud, transforming pain into power, we rise above. Let's talk a little bit about addiction. There are many types of addiction in this world. There's alcohol addiction, drug addiction, smoking, shopping addiction, eating addiction, sex addiction, gambling addiction, love addiction, and I'm sure that there's a whole bunch more that we are able to partake in this big world we live in. But why do we become compulsively addicted? I think that we're looking for an escape from our own minds, our own life, our pain and our feelings, or sometimes we're just bored. At least that's how I started as a young teenager. My home life was hell. I couldn't stand myself, and I would have done just about anything to escape it all. And I did. But that took me down a very dark path, which caused more pain and more darkness in my life. And I kept going lower and lower into that darkness. We have this unrealistic idea that we should be happy and feeling good all the time, right? So we're constantly searching for that high or what makes us feel happy and feeling good. The truth is that life is flooded with suffering. We all suffer. We all feel physical and emotional pain, and both of those are connected to one another. I don't know if you knew that, but the brain can't tell the difference between emotional pain and physical pain. Isn't that interesting? And then there's the human condition, which we're all living, and that within itself is terrifying to know how small and vulnerable we are. So we try to run away and we try to check out. It's just too much. We numb our body, we numb our emotions, we try everything we can to refrain from the discomfort of our lives, our painful feelings like grief, frustration, or that general feeling of uneasiness. Whatever it is you're addicted to, eventually it's going to turn on you. And at that point, it's not fun anymore, is it? How can we put ourselves at ease without running to our addiction? I know firsthand that you can become physically addicted to drugs and also mentally addicted to drugs and alcohol. And when you have habitually partaken in these substances for long periods of time, it becomes a habit that is part of you, and it makes it even harder to shake. Recognizing and accepting that there are times when you will suffer and that suffering is a part of life is a good way to start working towards overcoming your addiction and recovering from it. Part of this is making a decision to do some of your inner work, to listen to yourself, to try to love yourself, to try to nurture yourself, and to take care of yourself. And at the beginning, even if you're not feeling like doing it, starting that habit is definitely something that helped me, and keeping up with it too. You need to recognize the fact that you are addicted and it has turned on you, and it literally has hijacked your life. Therefore, you've become a prisoner of your addiction. It never feels good to be in prison, to feel out of control and powerless over anything or an addiction. In fact, it crushes your soul because deep down inside, you know that you're hurting yourself. Therefore, you're not being true to yourself and you're lying to yourself. Addiction takes you down a path of confusion and darkness. It brings you into a different plane of existence, which makes you vulnerable to illness, fatigue, burnout, poor boundaries, bad decisions, not thinking clearly, and possible death if you're going that hard and making decisions while high that could alter the course of your life or the lives of others. And that's the hard truth of it. We get lost in our addiction, cut off a part of ourselves that we're trying to deny or to stuff. The sad part, the lonely part, the grieving part, the angry part, the self-hatred. Even though these are not feelings you welcome, they're part of your being, and to deny them is to split yourself in half. And this is why you feel so lost. So how do you begin this journey to recovery? I'd say by being honest with yourself as well as honest with another human being about your addiction. Therefore, you can let go of the elephant in the room and take the cat out of the bag. Become conscious of what you're doing. Pay close attention to yourself, the ways in which you're acting and how you're hurting yourself and others. Be conscious and honest about it. When we're addicted, I believe it also cuts us off from God's source universe because we're choosing our addiction over the Creator, over ourselves, and over our family. And again, this is literally how addiction hijacks your life, and addiction also hijacks your freedom. There's a huge amount of shame involved with addiction. We're ashamed of what we're doing. We're wondering if people know the dark secret that we're keeping from them, or how we might be judged and condemned or rejected if anyone knew. When you feel powerless as though you can't stop, that's a terrifying feeling. It's one of the worst feelings. It's very scary. That's when you have to give it to God and let it go and at least admit that you have a problem. Now that's the very, very first step. So if you're suffering from addiction, I want you to know that you're certainly not alone. Many suffer in silence. It could be the postman, maybe your boss, your friends, or people that you come across in your daily life. There are many people out there that are keeping this dark secret, more than you think there are. Recovery is possible. Many have done it, and I have, so if I can, I know that you can too. You can change your mind, you can change your habits, you can find clarity. It takes time, it takes faith, perseverance, and commitment, but you can do it. All you need to do is decide, or don't decide, and your addiction may become so bad that it will decide for you. And that should be a risk that you're not willing to take. That's the ultra hard path. But unfortunately for some, they have to go down that road of abuse, of absolute destruction, losing possessions, finances, relationships, jobs, losing their self-respect, and completely ruining their lives. And what's even worse, losing their life or someone else's life to the hands of their addiction. I know that's harsh, but it's the truth. And hopefully you won't have to hit that rock bottom. It's truly up to you. So pray, and then keep praying, and cry too if you need to. Reach out to someone who can help. There's plenty of help everywhere. It's right there. When in recovery from addiction, we begin to gain our freedom. We connect with ourselves and others again. We are present for our life, and we are not checked out. We get to consciously live our lives in the moment. We get to enjoy our lives and the people in it. The best part is we get to remember it. Doesn't that sound better to you? So blessings and prayers to all those out there who are currently suffering from addiction. May you get the help you need for the benefit of yourself and all. We're thinking of you. We love you. Remember that you're not alone.